Hey everybody, it's me, just making another video. Kinda got frustrated because I was playing Madden Online 2009. I was playing somebody on Madden 2009 online, and really I couldn't get my offense going. I don't know if my controller was messed up or something, but I really couldn't do anything. But my defense was doing real good, but still, it just really sucked, and I ended up just canceling it out, and the person ended up leaving because I guess they didn't want to play me because I sucked when it came to the offense, but it was my controller. So if that person is watching right now, it was my controller. I'm really good at that game. It was just my controller. It just kept messing up, and it wouldn't let me do what I wanted to do. But today, this video is gonna be a wrestling video. Yesterday, I did a video response to Spinnernet's video about Backlash, the best Backlash matches and the best Backlash pay-per-view overall. Today is going to be a Backlash 2009 predictions video. Backlash is this Sunday on pay-per-view, and I thought I'd do my early predictions for the WWE Backlash pay-per-view this Sunday because I don't want to do a predictions video Saturday. I'm pretty sure everybody else will have their predictions video on Saturday. So instead of talking about it right now, let's get to this video. The first match, and these matches are not in order, I'm just putting them how I wrote them down on my paper. I got Santino Marella versus the Great Khali. If Khali wins, then he gets to kiss Santina. Now, we all know this is not going to be a good matchup because you got two guys who are not known for their in-ring work. But as a comedy match, it should be pretty fun to see Santino get his and see what happens in this matchup, and him talk himself out of the stipulation. And I expect the Great Khali to squash Santino Marella, and thus we get the Santina and Khali kissing, which will lead to Santina revealing all along that it was Santino Marella. I see that happening, but I don't think WWE will pull the plug on that not just yet. They'll probably wait a couple weeks to do that. But yeah, I see the Great Khali winning this matchup. We then go to the second match on here, which is for the ECW title match. It's Christian and Jack Swagger. These two have had some really good matches since Christian made his return to the WWE and started wrestling on ECW. This should be no different. If it's given enough time, this should be a really good matchup. And in the end, I see the WWE putting the ECW title on Christian. I'm pretty sure they might keep it on Jack Swagger to have him lose it to Tommy Dreamer in June, but I'm pretty sure they're going to put the belt on Christian for a while and then have him drop it again to Jack Swagger. So yeah, I look for Christian to go over Jack Swagger in a really good matchup because I really don't see this match being a bad matchup. This should be a really good matchup if it's given enough time because, like I said, Jack Swagger and Christian can work some good matches against each other, and they proved that in the last couple ECW matches that they had on ECW. The third match on here I got is CM Punk versus Kane. Really, this is just to put CM Punk on here and I guess to make him seem like he's not a worthy opponent to challenge for the title or at least win the title. So yeah, this is just thrown in there to give the illusion of CM Punk actually not being able to hang with the World Heavyweight Champion when he gets to cash the Money in the Bank, which I'm going to talk about later. So yeah, this should be not a great matchup, but at least a 2-3 star matchup. And I see Kane getting the victory over CM Punk because they're going to try to fool us into thinking that CM Punk doesn't really have a chance of beating the champion when he cashes the Money in the Bank. And yeah, I see that this is just also to buy CM Punk some time before what happens at the World Heavyweight Championship match, which I'll get into later. So yeah, I see Kane winning that matchup. The fourth match I got on here is Jeff Hardy versus Matt Hardy in an I Quit matchup. really this is kind of a weird matchup because we all know Jeff doesn't quit because he's one of those high flyer risk taker wrestlers, and Matt Hardy is that say no die wrestler. He does, yeah, something like that with him. But overall, this should be a really good matchup. I expect this match to be better than their WrestleMania 25 matchup if it's given enough time, more time than their WrestleMania 25 matchup. And I see Jeff Hardy getting his revenge by beating Matt Hardy and thus ending the feud, which has been talked about, which the WWE already talked about, and why the reason why they drafted Matt to Raw so they can finish this feud at Backlash and then have Matt Hardy move on to a different feud. So yeah, I see Jeff Hardy making Matt Hardy quit and thus ending this feud, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with Jeff Hardy in the contract situation and what they do with Jeff Hardy after this matchup. But yeah, I see Jeff Hardy winning this matchup. Next matchup I got on here, number 5, is Chris Jericho versus Ricky Steamboat. This is the match that should have happened at Mania 25, but instead we got the Three Legends versus Chris Jericho. Overall, this should be a really fucking awesome matchup. Easily a 4-star matchup, 3-4-star matchup, because we seen what these two did on Raw the night after WrestleMania in that tag team matchup, and we seen what they did in that. We seen a little bit of what they could do at WrestleMania 25, so I don't expect anything less. I see Ricky Steamboat getting his revenge by beating Chris Jericho with the crossbody off the top rope, and thus, I guess, continuing the feud between Jericho and Steamboat, or I guess they're gonna have Chris Jericho move on to a different feud. But yeah, I see Ricky Steamboat beating Jericho in this matchup. But Jericho's still gonna look good in this matchup after he loses to Steamboat. But still, I see Ricky Steamboat getting the win here. Next matchup on here is John Cena versus Edge for the World Heavyweight title in the last man standing matchup. This should be a really good matchup because we already know what these two have done in the past. We've seen what these two did at WrestleMania 25 and then in single matches on Raw, so I don't expect anything less between these two. In the end, my prediction, I gotta go with John Cena winning over beating Edge in this last man standing matchup and thus retaining his title. And then of course CM Punk will come in and challenge John Cena while he's dazed and he's out, and then he'll come in and hit the go to sleep on John Cena, and thus CM Punk will become your new World Heavyweight Champion, which everybody already knows is going to end up happening. If it doesn't happen here, it's most likely going to happen at the next pay-per-view, which is in CM Punk's hometown of Chicago. So yeah, I either see CM Punk beating John Cena after the John Cena Edge matchup, or I see CM Punk beating John Cena at the next pay-per-view, Judgment Day, which I'm pretty sure WWE might do, but who knows, they might swerve us and have CM Punk do what he did on Raw last year when he beat Edge. He took his opportunity, came in and he beat Edge, so we might see that, or we might see the WWE might do it differently by having CM Punk actually be a man and have the Money in the Bank winner be a man and actually challenge the champion to a pay-per-view matchup, which WWE might do. And then finally, we got Triple H, Batista, Shane McMahon against Legacy and Randy Orton and Legacy. Overall, this should be a good matchup for what it is. In the end, somehow I see Batista costing Triple H the matchup. If you've seen Raw this past Monday, there was miscommunication and Batista ended up spearing Shane McMahon instead of spearing Randy Orton or one of the members of Legacy. So yeah, I see the same thing happening in this matchup, or I see a Batista heel turn. Either way, I see Triple H losing the title somehow, or they might end up having Triple H retain it, but I just have a sneaking feeling that they're going to have Batista turn heel and cost Triple H the matchup, and then have Randy Orton win the belt from Triple H somehow in this matchup, with Shane McMahon actually eating the pin in this matchup. So yeah, I see Randy Orton and Legacy going over in this matchup. Anyhow, that's my predictions video. Rate, comment, and I'm out. Peace.